A Seek Reality Online member asked, Spiritual Stockholm Syndrome explores the ancient Gnostic idea that reincarnation is a soul trap designed by an insane and inferior God. I find it disturbing such a possibility is even being proposed. The Stockholm Syndrome is characteristic of today's Christianity. It suggests that kidnapped people, threatened with awful immediate futures, including being killed, come to love and feel protective toward their captors, who may be their eventual killers. Is the threat of having to reincarnate again and again a reality? Is it a soul trap? In this video, I explain why there is no soul trap people must be afraid of, and that the church is using that fear to convert and hold adherents. Hello, I'm Dr. R. Craig Hogan, President of the Afterlife Research and Education Institute and Seek Reality Online. I'm the author of 8 books with the evidence you will come to the end of this life, but you will never die. What is the Stockholm Syndrome this member is asking about? The term originated when 2 criminals in Stockholm, Sweden, took hostages for a week during an attempted bank robbery. After the hostages were released, they had oddly positive, even loving sentiments toward their captors. The hostages even became involved in raising money for the criminals' defense. In religion, the syndrome is present in the teachings that God is a wrathful being who will throw people into a hell where disobedient people are tortured. The followers are fed a steady diet from the literature, weekly messages, and priests, so they lose their ability to think rationally. They're told that only the priests have knowledge that can save people from God's wrath and hell. They even refer to accepting the belief as being saved. The people are taught firmly that they must not listen to other voices, including their own inner leadings. The only path to save them from this awful fate is to believe and obey the priests and their interpretations of sacred texts. They are trapped. Many millions of people believe these falsehoods out of fear of retribution in this life and the next, just as kidnapped people feel threatened with death, come to feel sympathy and love for their captors. There is no soul trap, as you suggested, that the Gnostics believe. I'll explain why we know that's true. There are actually many groups that were called Gnostics, from the Greek knowing. Some are not referred to as Christian beliefs at all. Most Gnostics believe that this earth was created by a demiurge, created when the supernatural being called an archon named Sophia perpetrated a disastrous attempt to bring knowledge to humanity. The Gnostics believed this demiurge resulted in creating such phenomena as greed, anger, and violence in humanity. It's the same belief as others have had, including Christianity and Buddhism, but described differently. The trap is ignorance, but trap is an unfortunate word that implies someone can't escape. That isn't what the Gnostics teach. Sophia gave people the knowledge that enables them to become loving and caring, so they changed their lives. That is the gnosis, or knowledge. All of that is the same thing other religions, such as Buddhism, teach. The trap is not a hell. It just means ignorance. We're reared in the world to believe falsehoods. Children are taught to be selfish and self-absorbed, to see themselves as alienated from others. That is what the Gnostics regard as ignorance. The ignorance is keeping people bound to their lives that are self-defeating. People want happiness, but being self-absorbed, their attempts to be accepted and loved are causing others to reject them. That could be likened to a trap. But everyone can grow out of that by becoming loving and compassionate, by changing their hearts and minds. That is gnosis, Greek for knowledge. That truth Yeshua, or Jesus, said would set us free. He's reported to have said, "Change your hearts and minds, for the kingdom of God is here now. It is within you." He taught that people can escape the traps of self-absorption and separation from others through gnosis, or knowing. The Gnostics were not a religion like Christianity. They didn't have one set of beliefs. There were many different forms of Gnosticism. Some believed people come back to this life to learn to grow out of their ignorance, to become loving and compassionate. They reincarnate. Most adherents of Gnosticism did not believe that. Today we have learned from people living in the life after this life that there is no reincarnation in which people return to earth as different personalities. People stay the individuals they are throughout eternity. Instead, others from the higher self come to earth to learn lessons, grow in love and compassion, and enjoy this life. The new person's life may borrow pieces or whole frameworks from us or others who came before. The new individual and old person are then intertwined. That is where past life regressions and children's past life memories come from. They're not a past life. They're the life of a soul the new person on earth is intertwined with. Read more about the real message of reincarnation in the link in the description below. Today we know much more about this life and the next than was ever known before. We know everyone is on some stage of growth in becoming loving and compassionate. There is no trap, except that of our own making when we remain selfish, self-absorbed, spiteful, and abusive towards others. We are not trapped. We can grow in love and compassion so we don't have negative relationships with others. The growth comes from what the Gnostics referred to as gnosis, or knowledge. When we grow in wisdom, love, and compassion, we grow out of all the self-defeating, harmful beliefs that held us captive. We are all on some stage of the progress away from ignorance toward becoming loving, compassionate, other-centered people. We are not trapped without recourse. We are here to grow into loving, compassionate people who regard others' welfare as equally important as our own. That is the message Yeshua, or Jesus, taught. The Gnostics knew that. The monstrous church that grew up with Christ's name has lost its wisdom. For more about Gnosticism, go to the link in the description below.